job creation. After 25 years of losing our kids, 7 years in a row, more people moving into the state rather than leaving the state. 8 different credit upgrades. More people living and working in Louisiana than ever before, earning a higher income than ever before. Oh, but there's another side of the story. When you do things like that, the government crowd's not going to like it. They're going to tell you, well, there's never enough money for government. He keeps cutting government again and again and again. $9 billion smaller budget than the day we started. I tell them, I am guilty as charged. We don't measure prosperity by how government is doing. We measure prosperity by how people in the real world are doing. And that's the fundamental choice we've got to make in this election. You can't have both. It's either or. Hillary Clinton measures success by how government is doing. I measure success by how people in the real world are doing. You know, and there are a lot of problems coming at us out of D.C. You may have seen the Supreme Court decisions yesterday and today. One of the things I've been fighting for, and I will continue to fight for, is our right to religious liberty. You know, I said this earlier today. This morning, as the word of the decision came out, I was at the machine shed and some folks, I'm eating my way through Iowa today. And I'm sure I'm eating lots of trans fats, and I don't care. You know, I told the president he can declare war on Oreos, he can declare war on popcorn, he can declare war on the Crusaders and medieval Christians. I'm waiting for him to declare war on the radical Islamic terrorists that are the real enemy, not all these nonsense enemies. Well, no, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a big part. And so somebody asked me about the Supreme Court rulings. Look, yesterday, Scalia said it right. He said apparently words just don't have meanings anymore. Apparently, so when the Congress writes state, it doesn't mean what you and I think it means. Or any second grader knows it means. And today, in their ruling, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts says, this has nothing to do with the Constitution. So now we got a court that says, we don't care about the meaning of words, and we don't care about the Constitution. The reporter asked me about it, and I said kind of flippantly, might as well just get rid of the Supreme Court, save some money. I mean, what's the point? They're not a judicial body anymore, they've become a political body. And that's not their job. But here's my concern. Look, unlike President Obama and Secretary Clinton, my views on marriage aren't evolving. I think marriage is between a man and a woman, and I don't think any earthly court can change what God has ordained. But here is the assault that's coming. We face an all-out assault led by Hillary Clinton on our religious liberty rights. Make no mistake about it. They're already going after Christian business owners who don't want to participate in wedding ceremonies that violate their sincerely held beliefs. Next, they're going to go after pastors and churches. The left just doesn't get it. They don't get it. Our founding fathers put this in the First Amendment to the Constitution. This is the underlying foundational right that gives us freedom of speech and freedom of association. You know, the reality is this. In America, we have long said God belongs in the public square. When Hillary Clinton says you've got freedom of religious expression, all she means is you can say what you want in church. That's not religious liberty. Religious liberty is being able to live our lives 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, according to our beliefs. You may have read Hillary Clinton a couple of weeks ago said, those of us that are pro-life need to have our religious beliefs changed. Need to have our religious beliefs changed. I don't know about you, my religious beliefs aren't between me and Hillary Clinton. They're between me and God, and I'm not changing them simply because she doesn't like them. You may have seen an ad that's been running on TV. I've said this before. I need to say it slowly so even Hillary Clinton can understand this. The United States of America did not create religious liberty. Religious liberty created the United States of America, and it is the reason we are here today. I've got a novel idea for this election season. What if as conservatives, we actually embrace our own principles? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, maybe you heard Jeb Bush say you got to be willing to lose the primary to win the general. Let me translate that for you, because a lot of establishment Republicans in D.C. think like that. Let me explain that in plain English. What they're saying is maybe you need to pretend, maybe you need to abandon your principles so the media and the left will like you. I'm here to say nonsense. We've tried that before, and it doesn't work. And if we do that again, we don't deserve to be a majority. We don't deserve to win this next election. This next election is not simply about sending a Republican to Washington. That's not enough. Last year they told us, give them the majority, they would get rid of Obamacare. They'd stop the illegal amnesty orders, they'd shrink the size of the budget. Didn't happen. We can't just send a Republican to the White House. We've got to send a conservative who will make a big change and get our country back on the right path. Let's try something different. Let's run to win. Let's show the American people that our ideas and principles work for everybody. Help every child join the middle class. And by the way, while we're at it, I'm tired of the division. I'm tired of dividing us by ethnicity, by gender, by income, by geography. We're not African Americans. We're not Indian Americans. We're not Irish Americans. We're not rich Americans. We're not poor Americans. We're all Americans. No more hyphenated Americans. As president, I'll have 4 key objectives. 1, we'll repeal and replace Obamacare. I'm the only candidate that's offered a detailed plan how to do that. Secondly, we'll secure our border. Stop talking about it. Let's just do it. By the way, folks that want to come to our country shouldn't use our freedoms to undermine the freedoms we give to others. Folks that want to come to our country should want to be Americans, should want to come legally, should learn English, should adopt our values, and then roll up their sleeves and get to work. It's just common sense we should demand that for anybody that wants to come to our country. Third, we will also grow our private sector economy by shrinking the government. Lower, flatter tax code, rein in the EPA, rein in the regulations. And finally, fourth, we need to rebuild our nation's defenses. We cannot lead from behind. Peace through strength is more than a slogan. I never want the United States military in a fair fight. I want them to dominate any potential conflict. We have the finest military in the world. We owe them the support, the resources. Take off the political handcuffs. If we ever deploy our soldiers, give them what they need to win. This current strategy makes no sense. Containment, that's not a strategy. Patton said we Americans play to win every time. And that's the attitude we got to bring to ISIS. That's the attitude we got to bring. Look, there's no reason for Putin to be in the Ukraine. There's no reason for China to be rising and threatening our allies and our interests in Asia. There's no reason. There's no reason for ISIS, the so-called JV team, to be running amok in Iraq and in Syria. There's no reason for Israel to feel like we've abandoned her when she faces Hamas and Hezbollah. These 4 things, repealing Obamacare, growing our economy, securing our border, rebuilding our nation's defense, begin to put America on the right path. I want to close with this, and then I'll be happy. We'll take any of your questions. We can talk about Duck Dynasty. We can talk about whatever. And by the way, I love the show too, and it is, I'll tell you a little secret. Phil and Willie, the whole family, they're exactly in real life like they appear on TV. It's not an act. They are genuinely good-hearted, fun-loving people, and I like